Good morning, my friends. It is time for another coffee time. I'm not as exuberant about it this morning. I just woke up, number one. And number two, this is not going to be a normal coffee time because usually I'd like to keep coffee time for, uplifting comments and thoughts about, your divinity and your power within you. And today's going to have some of that in it. But I usually keep my other videos that come out at midnight for questions from you guys. Because I like answering questions you have because, those are the answers that you're in need of. But this morning I wanted to answer one that a lot of people are having. But this comes from our good friend Jenny Brown. Jenny has some friends in Florida who lost their homes and lost their businesses, and even Jenny's parents' house was damaged in the hurricane. And Jenny was asking me about. She says, "I'm beginning to understand creation," is what she said about how we create our experience. But she's having a tough time figuring out why people would want to have their homes and their livelihood destroyed. Why would people want to have a hurricane hit their house? And the point that I wanted to make, first of all, is they didn't want it. They didn't consciously want it, right? On a subconscious level, there's arguments that some of them might have been dissatisfied with something, and that could have created the fall off the cliff moment. But more likely, we live as part of a one energetic expression, and which means that there is a mass consciousness effect, which means that lives do affect other lives. But the key really is in those moments of turmoil, of trauma, of how we react to them, how we respond to them. And, moments like that are moments of choice. And it's moments of choice not just for the people involved. It's moments of choice for us as well. It gives us an opportunity to say, you no longer have a home, my home is yours. You come live with me as long as you need, for whatever you need. See, that motorcycle driving by was a perfect example. I'm doing a video out here, and something came by that was buzzing and making loud noises. That was exactly what I did not want in my video. But at the same moment, I'm making a video about how outer experiences reflect and express in our own experience and how we react to them. Instead of me getting mad about that motorcycle going by or frustrated about that motorcycle going by, I said, "Oh, look, there's an example that I can use in my video." When people go through big traumatic experiences, there are some who will have that experience and go, "Well, I'm done. No more. This sucks. This is terrible." And then it'll get worse and worse and worse. And then there'll be the ones who have the moment of, well, we didn't lose our lives. We didn't lose each other. We lost things. And things are not, the material things in the world are not important, because they are just illusions. Those junk drawers in your house are filled with junk, right? This is a chance to purge things away and come down to what is important. This is a chance to clear away and understand. And it's also a chance for the rest of us to express love so they can experience love. I'm sure that many of them down there in Florida are having an expression of despair and struggle. And that if someone would come into their life who would just show them love, it would make them feel better. It would give them a moment of going, oh. My mom was an amazing example of this. My mom, her sister left Peru, brought her children home because her ex-husband was keeping the children away from her, and actually had the children calling somebody else mom. And the only way she could get the kids out of the situation was to literally get them out of the country. So she flew them to the United States. Very brave thing to do. Amazingly brave thing to do. But she called my mom and she said, we have to leave the country. My mom said, you living with us. You're coming here and you're living with us. And they did. And they came and they lived with us, right? That's an important step my mom took. In my aunt's time of trauma, my mom was the expression of love for her. My mom, right? When my father's uncle came down with Alzheimer's, there wasn't a question. My mom brought him into our home and showed him love until we could not take care of him anymore. Until he was becoming a danger to himself and others, and then he had to be in a situation where he had to be in a home, in a place where he could be watched. And when he was finally committed, they literally said to us, this should have happened a long time ago, right? But my point of this is they did not want it to happen. But there's an experience that allows them to now create from a place of love. They're like, I've lost everything. What did they lose? They lost things. They lost expressions. But they gained the opportunity to see what's really important, to see what's really loving, to understand that the things are just things. It's right now in my house. I'm still purging. I had so much stuff, right? There's some things I won't get rid of, like my tools, because I like playing with my tools. It's something I love to do. So I'm keeping my tools, right? But I'm purging everything else. I'm going through every drawer, every cupboard, and I'm cleaning it all out. And I'm getting rid of all this stuff that just does not matter anymore. And it's so freeing and so wonderful. But did I want for the stuff to all be magically gone? No. Am I choosing to do that? Yes. So, no, they did not want a hurricane to happen. The mass consciousness created an opportunity for us to love or for us to fear. And in that mass consciousness, now let's talk about the mass consciousness for a second. There's a lot of negativity in the world right now. And a long time ago I did a video on the day I was driving to the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, and I am one who sees energetically. I see just flows of energy. It's weird. It's a very strange thing, and in seeing these flows of energy, driving to the Tennessee Renaissance Festival one day, I literally saw the earth describe. This is the way I describe it. Like the earth burp off a whole bunch of energy, kind of washed up into the sky, and it was like I pulled over the road and I called some intuitive friends of mine. I said, "What did I just see?" Because I saw this thing happen, and what did I see? And they were like, "Well, you just saw a release of energy that needed to be released because it was building up, so it was released." Well, I think that's probably what hurricanes and droughts and all those things are. Is buildups of energy that are just flowing. And Florida has had a lot of negativity down there lately, and that could be a possible reason why Florida was getting hit so bad. But it is the moment of change. They have an opportunity to create something new, and it's like somebody said yesterday in our membership group. No one's talking about what's going on in Cuba right now, where they lost everything, and the people are uprising. And I said, well, that may be an opportunity for the people to create a more loving Cuba, right? You look at Ukraine right now, everything that's happening over there. People are coming out of the woodwork to help and do the loving thing. Even the Ukrainians are contacting Russian soldiers' parents for them and giving them the opportunity to get their son out of Ukraine. I mean, that's a loving thing to do, right? So these expressions of love, I think the world is literally changing, and I think that these experiences that are happening in this energetic world are all part of the process of change and coming to a more loving place. So that's my thought on this, Jenny. I hope it answers your question. Creations happen, and they do happen in the mass consciousness as well. But we each can create our own experience around us from a place of love, no matter what happens. And oftentimes, we're all looking for that end, that place where we become one with God, and we ask for those things. And sometimes, as I've said many times, sometimes you have to fall off the cliff to get there. And that can be a part of this too. So that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and let's all send out positive intentions, also known as prayer, to Florida. So thank you, God, for the perfect recovery and the greatest good of all people harmed by the storms in the world, including Ukraine and Cuba and, of course, Florida. So you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.